Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going hunting for fairy types in the Open Great League featuring level 50 Ironhead ARON. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, Centrit38421, so many thanks for the battle submission. ARON is a rock and steel type Pokemon with the moveset of Tackle, Body Slam, and Ironhead. ARON definitely on the spicier side of things, so this trainer is pairing it up with a Defense Deoxys and a Greninja. So without further ado, let's hop out of the matches and let's go hunting for fairy types with XL ARON. Hopping into the first match, leading Defense Deoxys into Shadow Dragonair. Defense Deoxys does have the pacing advantage in this matchup, but choosing not to throw right away. Instead, going to look to overfarm and shield up as Dragonair goes for the Body Slam. Looking to farm up to the back-to-back Psycho Boost, putting some pressure on the shields of Dragonair. Dragonair chooses to let it go, the counter goes through, and down goes Dragonair. In comes Jellicent, and here you definitely want to stay in, as you cannot have this going up against the Tackle ARON in the back. So just gonna stay in here, despite the fact that the Thunderbolt is debuffed. We see a shield from the opponent. They're looking to keep their Jellicent very healthy, but that's not gonna help them, as in comes Greninja, and Greninja is a complete wall to energy from the Jellicent. Greninja goes for the Night Slash, winning CMP. Opponent is gonna let that through, understanding that they can take one Night Slash, but as we can see, they definitely cannot take a second. Greninja continuing to farm, Jellicent taking advantage of their energy lead as they fire off another Surf. Greninja looking to farm up, Greninja now going for the Night Slash. The opponent has to commit a shield here if they want to preserve the Jellicent. They let that through in the bag. It's Charm Granbull, and it's time for XL ARON to shine. The charms are of course resisted due to the steel subtyping, and ARON is able to make it to the back-to-back Body Slams. Shadow Granbull is very frail, so honestly, at this point, even the Body Slam should be enough to get the win. Going for Body Slam number 2, it knocks out the Shadow Granbull, and that's a good game. There's a surprise on the lead in the next match, leading Defense Deoxys into Shadow Shiny Hypno. Quite a few seasons back, Hypno did see a lot of play, but as of late, it has definitely fallen out of the meta in favor of other Psychic types. But here it is, on the lead, and it can have access to Shadow Ball. Defense Deoxys commits the shield, it's the Ice Punch bait, and now we see the save switch into the ARON. Looks like the opponent does not have a counter user in the back, so they're just going to stay in here, go for the Shadow Ball. That does quite a bit of damage. Opponent, oh my goodness, they send in Powder Snow, Alolan Ninetales. Do they respect the damage? They do not. Get absolutely one-shot. In the back is Sableye. They would have been way better off sending in the Sableye into the ARON, but sometimes that's what can happen if you're running an unexpected Pokemon. People just don't know what to do when they go up against it, and that can cause them to misplay. Sableye does have enough for the return. We see the shield on the foul play. Opponent opting just to go for the foul play. They're just looking to get some chip damage here. Chip damage is going to be helpful onto the Greninja, but they're still going to have to deal with landing a move from the Hypno, as Hypno is not going to be able to Confusion down. Hydro Cannon connects. We see the farm down from the Greninja. Back in comes the Sableye into a loaded Hydro Cannon. Greninja, such a deadly sweeper. 2 Water Shurikens after the Hydro Cannon, and that means game over. Picking up a very favorable lead in the next match, Defense Deoxys into Medicham. And the Medicham is staying in this matchup, which is very nice considering what's in the back. Opponent farms up 7 counters. This is not enough for a potential Psychic. It is just going to be the Ice Punch. Psychic, of course, is resisted, but does do slightly more damage in this matchup. Gonna fire off a Thunderbolt that connects into the Medicham. Medicham is gonna fire off some energy. Medicham, again, going to fire off another Ice Punch, and that's not a worry for the Deoxys. Deoxys going for another Thunderbolt. This will get the Medicham very, very low. Opponent commits the shield. They must be weak in the back to counter if they're staying in here and playing this out. They go for the Ice Punch. Deoxys, recognizing that it may have value in the back, is going to commit a shield and go for the Psycho Boost, putting pressure on the final shield of the Medicham. Medicham is going to double shield, and things are getting interesting here. Do we see the double shield, or do you just save the shield? Choosing to save the shield, and it's a power-up punch bait from the opponent, and that's going to cost them. Not only do they lose switch advantage, but they lose shield advantage as well. In comes another Hypno, and Hypno is going to be met with the XL ARON. Aaron farming up energy here. Hypno. Oh no, they built up to the Focus Blast. Do they have it? Aaron shields. It's the Focus Blast. What an absolutely massive shield. Very nice charge move timing from the Aaron. Aaron is going to be firing off the Body Slam. Body Slam connects into the Hypno. Aaron now going to go for the Iron Head. Iron Head, of course, does get same type attack bonus. It's going to be doing more damage, getting the Hypno to 1 HP and getting the Tackle Farm down. In the back, it's a Bastiodon. In comes Greninja, and the opponent concedes the match. Picking up a lost lead in the next match, defends Deoxys into Lickitung. Despite the fact that both Pokemon are hitting each other for super effective damage, this is not a winning matchup for the Deoxys. Deoxys will go for the Psycho Boost. That is no shielded by the Lickitung, and it is a CMP tie. Deoxys can choose to let this go, and now we're going to see a save switch into Greninja. Opponent staying in this matchup, and now we see the Night Slash thrown by the Greninja, trying to force a shield from the Lickitung. Lickitung does not fall for the bait, and now Greninja is going to have to give up a shield. That is very unfortunate for Greninja. Greninja looking to get the farm down, but the opponent is not going to let that happen as they have Azumarill in the back. Greninja firing off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is of course resisted, but Greninja can apply some damage over time here. Opponent has to go for a play rough if they want to remove Greninja from the field. Landing another Hydro Cannon, opponent continuing to overfarm with the Azumarill, and this Azumarill is going to be deep into the red after this Hydro Cannon connects. Greninja putting in a shocking amount of work for a matchup where it's completely walled. There's the play rough from the Azu, and now in comes XL Aaron. Aaron going to be hit with a charge move here from the Azumarill. It is going to be the play rough. Opponent sends in the Lickitung. They do not make it to a move, and now they're switch locked. And in the back, it's a Nidoqueen. And now we see why the opponent was so worried about this Aaron that they sent in the Lickitung. This is going to be very tough for the Nidoqueen, as Nidoqueen has to land in Earth Power. We see a shield from the Aaron. It's the Poison Fang bait from the Nidoqueen, and now we see a switch into the Deoxys. This Psycho Boost guarantees the final shield from the opponent, as it would register a KO. They can now go for a Poison Fang and attempt for a farm down. Opponent goes for the Fang. Can Deoxys make it to a move? The answer is no. Aaron has quite a lot of energy. Can Aaron make it to enough moves here? This will be close. Body Slam into the Nidoqueen. Connects. Aaron gets the farm down. All that's left in the back is the very low health Azumarill, and against all odds, this is XL Aaron sweeping an endgame and taking the win. We've got some spice from the opponent in the next match, leading Deoxys into Haxorus. Haxorus, unfortunately, is one of the Pokemon getting nerfed in the next season balance update, as Breaking Swipe will no longer be a guaranteed debuff. This is honestly a change that I'm not happy with. Breaking Swipe was only problematic on one Pokemon, and that was Steelix. While Steelix's influence on the meta did need to be addressed, I feel like they could have done a better job of, instead of nerfing Breaking Swipe, just buffing things that defeat Steelix and defeat the most common things that Steelix gets paired with. For example, the Steelix plus Virizion core in the Ultra League, buffing a bunch of Pokemon that can handle that core would help limit the influence of Steelix, whereas unfortunately by nerfing Breaking Swipe, all they've really done is Steelix is still going to be absurdly bulky, so it's still going to have quite a bit of play, but it just dramatically hurts the other Breaking Swipe users that honestly were quite balanced. Anyways, back into the battles here. Opponent baits with an Icy Wind, and they bait again with an Icy Wind, and now they're going to send in Dubwool. So the opponent hoping that Greninja will shield, but Greninja refusing to do so. Night Slash will connect, making it to the Hydro Cannon. Unfortunately, going for the Night Slash, but either way, this is double debuffed. It's not going to do a lot of damage, and in comes the Deoxys, and this is tough. Aaron will take double super effective damage from these double kicks, so it's all up to Deoxys. We see a switch into the Aaron. Aaron able to catch the Body Slam, but these double kicks are going to be rough. Come on, Aaron. Aaron getting absolutely torn to shreds by the double kicks, but making it to the Body Slam. Body Slam is going to be shielded by the Dubwool, and now we see a switch into the Dugong. Dugong farming up, and we're going to see Aaron make it to the Body Slam. Body Slam will deal some nice chip damage here onto the Dugong, but it's not going to be enough to KO. Dugong firing off its energy. Drill Run will easily be overkill here, and now it's all up to the Deoxys. Deoxys firing off the Psycho Boost, but the unfortunate thing here is the Dubwool is still lurking in the back, and it's saved energy. Back in comes the Dubwool. Dubwool Body Slam takes down Deoxys, and that's game over. We see a familiar lead in the next match, Defense Deoxys into Medicham. And again, with a team that is weak to counter on the back, incredibly nice to catch the Medi on the lead. Immediate no shield from the Deoxys. Medicham will go for the Psychic. Psychic does hit harder than Ice Punch, and it is another move, speaking of nerfs, that is getting nerfed in the Season 17 balance update, although this one I'm more in favor of. Medicham has definitely had its relevance in the meta for quite a long time, so starting to limit that influence, I'm honestly not too upset by, as there's not a whole lot of collateral damage when it comes to Pokemon that are running Psychic. Going for a Thunderbolt into the Medicham. Medicham is going to let that through. Deoxys could have gone for a Psycho Boost before this move was reached. Now we're going to see the Ice Punch deployed by the Medicham. Deoxys instead, very close to the back-to-back Psycho Boost. Decision time for the opponent. Do they protect the Medicham? They do, but that's going to cost them as the Deoxys makes another Psycho Boost. This will secure the knockout as down goes Medicham. What do they have in the back? Opponent running Wormadam of all things. So the opponent running some definitely not spice on the lead, but they got some spice in the back with the Wormadam, and we see the final Pokemon is revealed to be Lickitung. Lickitung now going to be answered with ARON. The battle of one-turn fast moves, Lick from the Lickitung and Tackle from the ARON. They go for the Power Whip. That hits for some heavy neutral damage. ARON continuing to farm and going for the Body Slam. Body Slam not going to KO. Lickitung is very, very bulky here. ARON able to make it to another Body Slam, and this will be game over for the Lickitung. All that's left in the back is the trash Wormadam. Wormadam looking for a farm down, and a farm down could honestly be rough because Bug Buzz, of course, is going to absolutely destroy Greninja, but thankfully the switch clock comes up, in comes Greninja, and Greninja fires off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon, big damage onto the Wormadam, and Greninja is going to have to respect the Bug Buzz here. Opponent baits with the Iron Head. Can they make it to the Bug Buzz? Oh my goodness, they make the move. Is this the Iron Head? Is it the Bug Buzz? It's the Bug Buzz. ARON still alive in the back and will take that game. Moving into the next match, and what do you know? Once again, it's another Medicham on the lead. Medicham, its presence in the meta, it's just absolutely everywhere. Opponent goes for the Ice Punch. And we're going to see Deoxys farming up and returning fire with the Thunderbolt. Again, this is a very positive matchup for the Deoxys, so if the Medicham's staying in, they're probably weak to the Deoxys somewhere in the back as well. Medicham is going to fire off the Psychic now, looking for a debuff, and they do not get it. Deoxys going for the Thunderbolt. Decision time for the Medicham. Do they want to keep it alive? No, they do not, and Deoxys gets the counter down. Opponent now going to send in Lantern, and Lantern is a problem for the backline here. Lantern can hit both Pokemon for super effective damage. Psycho Boost will be no-shielded. We now see a save switch into the ARON, and thankfully the opponent does not have a second counter user in the back. Opponent goes for the Surf, super effective damage onto the ARON. ARON now in a spot where it will get KO'd unless it shields. ARON is going to commit the shield. ARON continuing to farm and going for the Body Slam. Putting pressure on the shields of the Lantern. Is Lantern going to shield? Yes, they do. ARON continuing to farm. ARON farming up. Opponent in the back. They have Clodsire. And Clodsire, honestly, not a bad Pokemon to see if you have Greninja in the back. Looking to switch out. In comes the Greninja as Clodsire fires off its energy. Clodsire went for the Sludge Bomb, aiming it at the low health ARON, but it ends up being caught onto Greninja. Greninja now in a pretty nice position where it can spam out super effective Hydro Cannons, and that does massive damage to the Clodsire. Greninja going to expend the final shield. Greninja can now look to overfarm in this matchup, and Greninja actually gets a farm down as well. In comes the Lantern. We see an undercharged Hydro Cannon from the Greninja, leaving it at 1 HP. Oh no, I know what he's doing. He's gonna finish the game with ARON. In comes the ARON. Let's go. ARON, Body Slam, get that Lantern out of here. And that's a good game. Hopping into the final match, we've got some insane spice from the opponent, leading Deoxys into Shadow Alakazam, but they have a Steelix in the back. Such a spicy lead, but in comes the Steelix. Steelix will fire off the Breaking Swipe immediately. Greninja firing off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon, even when debuffed, is gonna hurt. We see the no shield from the Steelix. Greninja farming up and going for the Night Slash. Decision time for the Steelix. They have to shield if they want to keep the Steelix alive, and they do, and Steelix is able to win switch. In comes the Deoxys. Deoxys just gonna look to tank the energy from the Steelix. Helix and go for the counter farm down. So Deoxys is now debuffed. Opponent in the back, they have their own Greninja. So honestly, not a terrible spot to be in. Although, if that's a counter Alakazam, then this could get very rough for the ARON. ARON is going to let this through. It's the Night Slash. What move do they have on the Alakazam? Oh no, it's counter. ARON gets torn to shreds, and it's all up to Defense Deoxys. Shadow Alakazam is so glassy that these resisted counters honestly look super effective. Alakazam full sends the Shadow Ball. Deoxys building up to the back-to-back Psycho Boost. This is resisted damage, but the glass of Alakazam is not going to be able to take it. Going for the -2 resisted Psycho Boost. That secures the knockout onto Alakazam, and that's game over. All in all, these were some very fun battles, so thank you so much for sending them in. XL ARON, it's definitely not a meta breaker by any means, definitely more of a Pokemon for fun than for gaining elo, but man, watching fairy types, especially Charmers, get frustrated by the XL ARON entering the field and seeing that Iron Head one-shot on the Alolan Ninetales was absolutely glorious. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. In the new season, I'm probably going to be posting twice per day for, I don't even know how many days into the new season, but quite a few. So if you haven't already, make sure to turn those notifications on as well, because there's going to be a lot of content as we check out the incredibly hype updates for Season 17. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.